So bear with me. There's this... Okay. So there's a series of games that I played recently that kind of got me thinking about how innovation works in games, specifically like the sort of the tension between innovating and taking advantage of conventions. We just played Dandara today, and and one of the key things about the game, that sort of the defining feature of that game, is that it took a classic genre and it basically just decided, okay, what if you had a platformer where you couldn't run, all you could do was jump, and taking that convention and just sort of smashing it led to this really crazy interesting game. And there are ways to do that, like Dandara, that are really interesting and cool. There's also ways that you can kind of mess up a game by breaking the wrong convention at the wrong time. And so I just wanted to look at a couple of games that I really like, but that have sort of a weird, interesting mix of innovating and convention breaking that simultaneously really entertained me and also drove me nuts. So first I want to start with one of the great classics, Minesweeper, right? I played this all the time when I was a teenager and got really, really used to the conventions of the game and how it works. So basically, if you haven't seen Minesweeper before, and what is wrong with you if you haven't seen Minesweeper before, you click somewhere at random. If you click on a square that is not next to any mines, then it just clears everything out around it automatically. But some squares have numbers on them, and the number means this is how many mines are next to me. So you can right click to mark a mine, and right click to mark a mine, and then so I know there's a mine here because this one says 1, and there's only one unrevealed tile next to it, so that must be the mine. Now this one, it can only be next to, it can only have one mine next to it, so we know that it can clear that one out. And you just keep doing this. You can just sort of keep, finding, like when you double click, it'll show you which tiles are adjacent to that particular tile. And so I'm double clicking, I was clicking both buttons at once right here and showing that, okay, this one is next to this guy. Well, I know I can mark that. And now this guy, and this guy, and this guy can clear out all the tiles around them. And if you play this game a lot, you can get to the point where you're doing it really, really quickly. Now, I haven't actually played it that much in a long time, so I'm not as quick as I used to be when I was a teenager. But you can kind of get into this habit where you know exactly what to do. You can you see, okay, here's a 1 on a corner, so you click that, and then any other 1 that is next to that mine, you also click. Then you've got a 2, you've got a 3, you got a 2, oh, that 4, and then that's a 2, and then, can't figure that out yet, but you can clear out the area around it, and this can go really quickly. And so this has got a great advantage because, it's a very simple game, you can learn the controls, and basically turn it into a habit, and you get faster and faster and faster. So here's the problem. What if you want to innovate in this genre? That's a little bit harder. So here is a game called Hexcells that I really, really like. This is showing me making no progress. That's just because I somehow lost my save. I actually annihilated this game and both of its sequels. This is a really cool game, and it's essentially Minesweeper. So you select a level where Minesweeper randomly generates its levels. The levels in Hexcells, except for they added the ability to randomly generate puzzles in the very last Hexcells, but most of them are all handcrafted. And so you can see it's the same basic rules. So I've got a 1. That means that there must be a mine here. So this is how you mark a mine. There's a 1 here, but it's already next to 1, so you clear that one out. And then there's 1 there. And it's the same basic set of rules as Minesweeper, except for one thing. The right clicks and the left clicks are flipped. If this was Minesweeper, I would left click on these spots that I know do not have mines. But if I left click, it's an error. I've made a mistake because I need to right click it to reveal it. And It is the most insane thing I have ever seen. This game is exactly Minesweeper, except for the buttons are flipped. And I lose my mind when I play this game. Now, in all fairness, I'm pretty sure that it's actually possible to change this yourself. I'm trying to figure out where there's some kind of control somewhere. Where is it? I swear I did this before. Maybe I've lost my mind. I think there's some place that you can actually change the controls and flip them so that you can use the correct button to clear and the correct button to mark. But right now I'm not finding it, so maybe I just imagined that and it's not real. In which case, holy crap, it actually kind of reminds me, there was this game, I forgot what it was, it's some kind of like vampire western game that came out about a year after Halo that had all of Halo's controls, except that reload was on B and melee was on X. And it just drove me crazy because I kept reloading when I wanted to hit things and hitting when I wanted to reload. And I'm like, your game controls exactly like Halo. Why couldn't you use the exact same control? And usually it's just there's some designer somewhere on the team that is like, now wait, which button do I push? Okay. Who's like, they did it wrong. I know the right way to do it. I know where this button really belongs. And if I had designed Halo, I would have put reload on B and melee on X. And so they did it wrong, and I'm going to show everybody that my way is right. And you know what? A lot of the time, that person is right. That person is absolutely correct. Their way is better. And it does not matter because the other way is the way that everyone is used to. And I'm so sorry that you were second. But you were second, and so you just have to deal with the fact that somebody else gets to decide. So the handcrafted puzzles in here are great. Okay, so this 2 is next to 2, so I can clear these out. This 2 is next to only 2, so I can clear that. This 2 is only next to 2. Oh, I hit the wrong button because the universe hates me. This 2 is next to 2. This one's next to 2. So, okay, so that's what I mark and clear those out. Yay, I did it, and I only made one mistake. But the mistake wasn't a logical mistake. It was a control convention mistake. And I'm so angry. So, I usually, I don't really spend a lot of time criticizing other people's games. And so I have to underscore the fact that I love Hexcells. And like I said, I have beaten every single puzzle in Hexcells in all 3 Hexcells games. This game is brilliant, and I'm pretty sure somewhere hidden there is a way to actually change the controls to make them do what makes sense. But yeah, so this is a brilliant game, and if you did not play as much Minesweeper as I did and did not get completely ingrained with those controls, play this game because it's really super good. But then that was Hexcells by Matthew Brown. But now this brings me to another game. This is Delete by Pony. And Delete sticks to the conventions that I was talking about with Hexcells. So this is a 1. So there is 1 mine around this someplace. And I feel like it's been a while since I played Delete, so I might have forgotten how something works, but I'm pretty sure if I click on something, that clears it. So I'm just kind of taking flying leaps here. Oh, right. So Delete is special because you can push buttons that change the shape of the puzzle. And I think that's probably what I was supposed to do, because, okay, so yeah. I'm trying to find some place where I can actually act. Maybe over here is where I can do it. Aha! A 0. Okay, so this 0 means there's no mines around it. So none of the corner connected ones are mines. So I can just clear them out with the left click. Left click, left click, left click, left click. Oh, this feels so good. Left click, left click, left click, left click. But then here's where Delete makes me insane. So this one, there's a 1 next to it. It means there's a mine there. So I right click it, and all the numbers change. And I want to die. Because now all of my Minesweeper like habits are telling me, okay, this 1 is next to a marked mine. That means there are no more mines next to this. So I can just start clearing things, except I can't, because no, this 1 does not mean, like, this 1 is not finished. There's a mine there, and then it becomes a 0. So yes, it is very satisfying to slowly clear out the world until there's nothing but zeros left. I agree, designer of this game. Except, I'm so used to the other way. If this had been the first Minesweeper style game I had ever played, this would work perfectly. But it's not. I'm so used to the other way of it working. The numbers changing just makes my head explode, and I can't deal with it. So this is also a very clever game, and I really like playing it, especially the way that they set it up to be sort of pseudo 3D, so you can move things around and change the puzzle and find connections you couldn't find before. But what is going on with the numbers? So this game is, I haven't played it as much as I played Hexcells, obviously, because you can't play something as much as I played Hexcells. I played it 100%. But it's got, I mean, I love what they're doing with this game. It's great. And if you're into this kind of game, play Delete. It's awesome. I love it. But what the heck is up with just changing a fundamental convention of your genre in a way that... So this is the thing. In Dandara, when they changed the convention, they did it to... it defined the entire game. The game was about the fact that they had changed that convention, you know, and they spun the game off in a brand new direction based on that altered convention. But with this game, like, it would still work if it worked the other way, right? Like, the game design does, or like Hexcells, flipping the 2 buttons, it doesn't change anything fundamental about design. It doesn't spin the game off in a new direction. It just breaks my brain. That's all it does. That's all it does is hurt me. So... anyway, I've been ignoring the chat because I've been ranting so hard. Kirasu noticed that one of my children snuck by in the background while I was ranting. I noticed that too. Oh, Dan31 identified the cowboy vampire game that was driving me crazy. It's called Dark Watch. That's the game. So thank you, Dan31, for remembering it. Holy crap. I liked that game a lot. Another game that I really liked. But come on. Reload is on X. I'm so sorry that Halo beat you to the punch. But Reload is on X. Reload is also on X, I should say, in State of Decay 2. It was on Y on State of Decay 1, and that also made my brain hurt every time I played my company's own game. So on State of Decay 2, it's on X, because, come on. Anyway, yeah, so these games are great. They're brilliant. And they sort of twist your brain in brand new ways, in good ways that make you feel satisfied and happy and glad that you played, and just also in insane ways at the same time. So anyway, so that was Delete. That's Delete by Pony. And the previous game was Hexcells by Matthew Brown, and I heartily recommend that you check them out. Neither of them is very expensive, and they totally, I mean, I spent a bunch of time on both of them, and they're a lot of fun. But, you know, I also really love Minesweeper, and it's really hard to do much better than a classic like that. So there's that. So that's why the title of the stream was, what did I call it? Something about innovation sucking. Innovation is the worst, except when it's the best. So yeah, so there's that. What else am I gonna do here? One problem is I tend to just sort of talk a blue streak when I'm doing this, and it gives me no room to edit. So actually, let's just pause for a moment, because I want to make multiple videos out of this stream, and if I just give myself a second, I can actually sort of do a transition from one to the next. So let's put a black bar up here. I can even do like put a couple of like links to other videos here. I think that I might have even played other puzzle games and stuff like that I want to link to. And I should remind people to, I don't know, like and subscribe or whatever if they're watching this on YouTube. I'll probably have like a subscribe button up here someplace. Anyway. I think that pause